What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the debut mixtape by Mat4yo. Basically this project is called Summer Solstice and it came out in the summer of 2014. So the thing about this particular project here is I found this cat because of a cat named Tuzin who particularly did some features back in those days. I remember him from back in the day as far as was first going to happen. Just popular mixtape rappers like that off of DatPiff and SoundCloud, some of those type places. But particularly Mat4yo, he apparently has a YouTube fairs like that. He has a number of albums that he put out later on as far as this pitch going to happen. I don't know if he had like secondary mixtapes that came out 2015, 2016. A lot of these SoundCloud kind of rappers and stuff have kind of somewhat removed their projects from back in the day as far as this first going to happen. But I found this particular Mat4yo cat pretty recently. It's a classic mixtape here, just be able to say I really like the impact of it. Kind of off the wayside, embraces internet rap a bit within the tone, but some excellent type fare. The thing about this particular product is despite the fact that it has a certain trace of video game aspects about it, but it does it within the aspect of still having like that vicious kind of suburban and urban type appeal. So it's a good type pitch of basically saying if you fuck with games, like if you know a video game or two more than just Grand Theft Auto or Max Payne, some of those type of ones, and just within the pitch on top of that, just the tone of just having like some standard outs. There's plenty of good restaurant music on here as far as these pitches kind of happen, just some good affluences, just kind of within the tone, just a good aspect of being able to get some of these. But I particularly enjoyed this product, easily going to get a classic score just within the aspect behind it. Now similar to Chameleonaire, he doesn't use foul language as far as this pitch can happen, apart from saying screw a sad song as far as this pitch can go, but it's just within the pitch as far as saying that he pulls off like the non-cussing rapper kind of vibe within the pitch, because just some good aspects going to get here. So look after it. There's some guests on here, some further folks like Ashton Larold, Kevin Crust, Tuzin, some of these type of folks, Lazy Sunday Paper, Blingface, bunch of these folks within the pitch. Just real snappy type mixtape. I'm not as full bound sure if this particular Summer Solstice mixtape was on DatPiff as far as this first going to have. It'd be some interesting type fare. Trying to figure out how to directly download this. I think you have to create a SoundCloud account to be able to download this in particular. Look after it. I mean, I have floated around on SoundCloud for a while within those particular fares, but this was an aspect as far as getting towards it. But just had to say, I wanted to review this. While the relative availability is still around, because I want to say that this particular product is not on YouTube or really Spotify pitches like that. So it's a good type tone, but like I was saying, classic type appeal here just pulls off the aspects in terms like the classic type appeal here pulls off these affluences in terms like a suburban kind of affluence. Just some good type pitches for that. So I just look after within the tone. Basically, I don't know if there were full bound singles off this product, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about the two most top. I don't know if there were singles off this product, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about the two most popular songs according to Spotify. So the most popular song that has almost 14,000 plays on Spotify in the past 10 years would be Ashton Doors and Doormats. It's a good type pitch here. The second most popular song is Need for Speed featuring Tuzin, so it's a good type pitch. But Ashton's and Doormats features Ashton Larold. Not really as full bound sure about some. Don't know Ashton Larold too full bound, but this is a pretty appreciable type song. So look after it here. So Ashton's and Doormats is like a nice finery kind of New York and big city flavored kind of food outing. It's going to get here, just social soiree hopping as far as this pitch can go. So this tastes the gracefulness, just something that like probably Lupe Fiasco Wally would kind of do within some of those type pitches. It's good type tone. It's a little bit more New York graceful. Just not just them, but probably Mac Miller, Big Sean, folks like that. Just more on the particular pitch, just more New York hopping, some of that type fare. Just Philadelphia, places like that, Boston, some of these particular type places. It's bigger, kind of Cincinnati, some of those particular type places that just have a little bit more kind of like glizzy type music. Places where you'd call a hot dog a glizzy, more places like that. Some of those particular type tones, just more subway type shops and places like that. Just places that relative type fare is good type penthouse in New York kind of city hopping within the pitch. So the concept about this product, there are a good several kind of restaurant type music type songs on here. There are a couple of nightclub songs like Menace and Need for Speed particularly have some of that night venue kind of bound, but it kind of has the pitch of just like more kind of neighborhood romping within some of that type fare. Just kind of, you know, neighborhood frolic, just college neighborhood romping, kind of sports bar, college bar kind of romping within some of those type pitches. Just good type affluence of just like the summer hop, just going to football games, some of that type pitch. But just from the aspect of this, more restaurant type music on this particular one. It's a good city hop type one to get a taste of some bright lights as far as this first can have a nice popular song. Need for Speed's a real nice one. Now this has Tuzin on here. Jackal Goldkick had me familiar with Tuzin in the past as far as this pitch can happen, so I wanted to check out some more projects that he particularly did. Just the availability behind that particular cat is not as much full bound anymore, but I look at the pitch, some of the features that he did around this time were pretty excellent. This is a good collabo with Mat4yo here with an excellence of this particular pitch to make a pretty venomous type collab collaboration within this pitch. Real nice ferocious type 1. Need for Speed is like a jittery kind of neighborhood night prowls kind of get here. Just a good 1-2 punch with Menace, I'd have to say. Just some blistering commerce kind of get. So this is a good cruise around within the pitch. This is probably, this aspect when they talk about Need for Speed here, is the excellent type pitch to kind of get within that. Just the concept of just being able to, it's the concept of some high speeds just within the pitch. And just like typical kind of more, just typical more blistering type livings within the pitch. This feels like something that could have been on like a typical kind of more trap and rugged type. This is something that probably could have been on more typical kind of trap and rugged kind of Dat Piff mixtape within the fair. So some good type aspects. Get a lot of these. I think this mixtape could have easily had some. I mean, I like the packaging of this mixtape. This mixtape is going to get a 10 out of 10. But it's just within the pitch that this there. I think Mat4yo could have easily done a whole bunch of songs like this and really pulled off some social vibes with, and really pulled off like some Liddy and kind of fraternized vibes that would have been pretty vicious on here. It's just the concept. I think he can rap pretty well. He definitely has some good bars on this particular product. He handles these particular bars pretty well. So it's just a good pitch to be able to do that. Tueson's pretty good on here. Really has a good tone for that. So this is just more traditional kind of, traditional kind of suburban trap within those pitches, but definitely the glissy type speeds of it. If you do like more kind of blistering kind of vehicle speeds and vehicle knocks, it's a good nice one for some of that Liddy factor. Just great Thursday, Friday type music. So just to get to the rest of these, so basically out of the 11 songs on this mixtape, wound up recommending every song minus Screw a Sad Song, the 7th song on here just in the pitch. That's the only song I didn't appreciate full bound just to say, but this mixtape still gets a 10 out of 10. Easy enough to recommend. Seek it out on SoundCloud, some of those type fairs, and just, I would definitely say to get this mixtape more in the expression, because it'd be a pretty huge disappointment for this mixtape to vanish. I'd definitely say to scoop this up within the pitch behind it. I look after here, but the thing about Screw a Sad Song is just within the pitch behind, as far as saying, I like the beginning of this song. Originally, I thought that when he said Screw a Sad Song, was going to be the way that T.I. kind of said fuck a mixtape, the way he named his project fuck a mixtape, where he said he was going to do a mixtape despite saying fuck a mixtape, kind of concept. He was going to say, screw a sad song, I can do a sad song, no big deal. But I look after it, it's just kind of the tone that the beginning of this song, probably like the first 12-15 seconds, have like this kind of morose kind of piano ballad type feel. I think that, had that production been throughout the rest of the song, I mean, I know what it was aiming for within the pitch, as far as saying, you know, for folks that really are having some pretty horrid days, to be able to cheer them up within some of those type pitches, as far as not sulking and kind of being in the doom and gloom type format, was just in the pitch. I mean, to that particular end of just trying to get people out of their swampiness, it kind of pulls off that appeal within the pitch of just saying, don't be so morose about it. But just within the pitch, I feel like this project has a little bit of brushy kind of malaise about it, but I think the pitch of it nailing one of those sad type songs probably would have been a pretty excellent type fair. I think the way the original song, or at least the first 12 seconds of this particular song could have turned, I think that could have been a good vibe if they had done that particular beat. But what it did, I think the aspect behind it, it nailed it had some good tones of having a more cheer up type aspect within it, just within the pitch, as far as not wanting to be so swamped and stuff. I just look within the tone that it just is kind of haphazard. You take it as how you want it, but that's the only song I didn't full bound recommend within the pitch behind, but it does have its perks about it within the tone behind. So I just look after, so 10 out of 10 score. But basically just go through a lot of these. I did like Inner Cities pretty well. This Inner Cities is a pretty nice one on here. Definitely some throwback type moments. Just like a grazing kind of summery evening commute to Inner Cities, like a grazing kind of summery evening commute to kind of get here. This vintage kind of DJ Drama 2000s mixtape, so I'd have to say within the pitch, just similar type errands. It's like vintage kind of DJ Drama 2000s mixtape, so similar, I'd have to say here within those fairs, just errands type music within the pitch behind it. It's good type out and about just within the pitch, like a standard day hop within the fashion. It's typical kind of breeze of this out and about just within the fashion. It's not so much in like Thursday, Friday, Saturday type mode, but just in the pitch of just being able to say some in between type moments. This extra type fair really nails the particular vibes that Jeezy and Lil Wayne, some of those type folks, Joel Santana kind of did within that pitch behind it. Real nice soulful type production on here. Menace is a nice one. This is an immediate one to go for if you really appreciate the tone of like Need for Speed, some of those type ones. This is probably like the only true other night venue type song. I mean, there are other social type moments on here. Don't think this is a square type product, but in terms of like night venue kind of dance club type blitz, probably say the most immediate ones would be Menace and Need for Speed. But Menace is like a glittery kind of night venue hop to kind of get here, just a glissy kind of social outing breeze. I'd say just relief from typical dredge. I'd have to say about this one, just good song for feeling snazzy. So just kind of within pitch, if you do feel like getting out, getting crunk from like the typical kind of malaise of it, if you do have like a pretty standard push of like a 9 to 5 type pitch, just in the aspect of just kind of the tones of this, having to report to work more often than you have time to actually be able to step out, this is a good type relief from some of that. Just be able to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to get crunk for a few hours, pitches like that, some standard fare, just good Thursday, Friday type music to kind of get some tore upness just in the pitch of having a night or two of just getting tore up. So just good type factor. I mean, this album is not full bound kind of just addled within the pitch as far as just being swamped every day. There's some moments for like a mild amount of smoking on here. I feel like songs like Past the Remote's pretty good for that. Probably first to advance some good smokish type tunes, but it doesn't full bound promote it. I kind of feel like within the aspect, it seems less likely. I think Mat4yo kind of aims for more of like the Wale and kind of Big Sean and Wiz Khalifa, and not kind of aims for more like the Wale and Big Sean and Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa, and kind of on smarter day type pitches as far as those aspects going to go. But it's just from the pitch as far as nailing some of these. I do think the concept of just having like some smoking pal, gaming pal type roommates within the pitch, having some smoking type fare goes for it. But he does step out, so it's an excellent type pitch. There's definitely some blisteriness, both Need for Speed and Menace kind of do that. But there are some ones on here to talk about these further, like some of these restaurant type ones. Like I feel like No Beach Boy is one of these type ones for that. It's like an after hours kind of city hop kind of get this light lick kind of restaurant music, I'd have to say. Reminds me of like Mixtape Cuddy, I'd have to say, from that particular fair, and this like a mild kind of social lick as far as those pitches can go. So just good concept. If you like Kid Cudi's 2008 mixtape, I think it's called like A Kid Named Cudi, something like that. I reviewed that back in 2023. I still rock that mixtape pretty well, but it's just within the pitch as far as saying some of those type fairs of like songs like Heaven at Night by Kid Cudi, just in a more late day kind of evening type format. It's a good type pitch for that. So No Beach Boy kind of nails that pretty well. Still Make Guitars Cry is a pretty nice one. Now the thing about this particular mixtape here, I would reference these songs a little bit more and listen to them a little bit more within the pitch. I'm kind of doing this off of memory. The factoid about it is just the fact that if I were to listen to some of these songs after taking a lengthy enough break, the advertisements start to sink in. So it's just kind of within the pitch. I have to kind of do this off of memory here, just because it probably would stretch this review on for like a minute or two longer. So it's just in the pitch. I want to get towards this, but I'm just for the most part, these songs are easy enough to remember within the fairs. But Still Make Guitars Cry is like a good food night kind of venue, and Still Make Guitars Cry is like a good food night venue and restaurant kind of foot tap noise kind of get here. Just good basic bounce. I feel like about this one, just some nice feel goods within the pitch behind. So just having some drink in your system, some of that type fare. It's kind of aspect of stepping out, probably in the same night as songs like Menace and Need for Speed, but just more at the aspect of just a little bit more socialized type factor about it. Just kind of the concept of like, all right, time to mingle, not so much just kind of the pizzazz of like the blisteriness, but just kind of the concept of being at like a booth or a table, something like that. Just the ambience of kind of having with your pals as far as like, okay, it's time to gab. Pitches like that kind of has some stuff to say as far as fairs can go. So it's a good type concept, just nice one. Basic kind of groove about that one. Just goes pretty well with like, I'd say No Beach Boy, Still Make Guitars Cry, and Ash Tins and Doormats all work as like a good 1, 2, 3 punch within some of those type pitches. So some good type fare. Pass the Remote is a nice one here. Really like the ambience of this particular one. I feel like Pass the Remote and First Advance are like some more homebound type ones, but they work within the pitch. It's more PlayStation type music, movies on like Jackass, some of those type ones, Pulp Fiction, some of those type fares, I have to say. Blade, some of those type ones, just within the pitch. But I look after Pass the Remote, it's like a basic round the house kind of atmospheres kind of have within these pitches. Just wake and bake type music, definitely I have to say here, just within the pitch behind it. This roommate type music, some of that type fare, just good song for snacks, jokes, simple type, good song for snacks, jokes, some of that type pitch, just simple type song within the pitch behind this. Basic marinate within some of the fares behind it, just kind of ambience there. These are some basic kind of relaxed type gab type songs kind of get within the pitch behind it. Just simple kind of fraternize within the pitch behind it. It's kind of the concept, just more around the neighborhood pitches like that, just kind of more localized type fare. Not so much snack run type music, but just the concept of this, getting cereal off the fridge, some of those type pitches, just basic type tunes, just having like snack cakes, some of that particular type fare, just kind of probably within the aspect of just woke up, 11 o'clock in the morning, just depending upon your work type fare, or just 6 o'clock in the evening, just within pitches like that, just simple kind of around the neighborhood type fare, just good type tones for that. I do like the tone. First Advance is a nice one here as well. It's like an ambient kind of floaty lo-fi. First Advance is like some ambient kind of floaty lo-fi to kind of get here. Just a good mellow smokish tunes kind of have within those aspects. Basic vanilla kind of homies music, definitely I'd say. Just good song for snacks once again, and to hang as far as this pitch can go. So just a good pitch about that. Just typical, this would be further type PlayStation music just within the pitch behind it. This really feels like something out of First Advance, really feels like the ambience off of some type of fantasy type game like Final Fantasy, or some First Advance really feels like the ambience of some sort of fantasy type game like Final Fantasy, or some anime type show within the pitch behind it. Real nice one within some of that type fare, just good aspects for some of that. I'm trying to think if there's other songs I haven't talked about here. Summer Solstice is, oh yeah, there's some summery type songs in here, some of those type pitches. Like Summer Solstice is like a light lick kind of evening malaise kind of get here. Just reminds me of like alternative rock dredge, I'd say, some of those type pitches when you think of Papa Roach and Trapped and like Alien Ant Farm, some of those type pitches, just real light licked and like a more rap type sense, good type pitch kind of get this here. Just settle in type music, I'd have to say, and smoke one too as far as those fares can happen. So this is just a good unwind for some of that type fare. So yeah, so just some basic alternative rock ripped out of like 2000. The title track Summer Solstice is just some alternative rock ripped out of 2006, 2007, some fares like that. Just 2000s type fare within those pitches. Good aspects for some of that. Just kind of that dredginess and just like the fatigue of just like a relatively haphazard kind of work day. Not so much horrid, but just kind of the concept of this, it was the day just in the picture, just standard fare within it, just typical type push within, just a good concept for like some settle and just nice one to once again, these songs, when I talk about smoke in here, it's probably just more personal preference within the pitch, just kind of the concept of just finding some in-between type moments, just the recreational type fare. If you replace smoking with just like the concept of going and picking up some Chex Mix or just like a burrito, something like that, getting like some Burger King, Taco Bell, some of those type fares, one of those type pitches, blend piece, just a good aspect, kind of get like the concept of just some unwind within the pitch behind this simple type pitch behind that. And Evergreen is a nice one that's pretty similar to Summer Solstice that I had say in songs like Inner City, some of that type fare. I feel like Inner City is a little bit more Aaron's fare, but Evergreen's a nice one within that fare. This Evergreen is like a glazed kind of warm summer day slag, kind of get here just halfway pep, just what I'd say, just typical kind of songs like a typical day kind of outing push, just to makeshift traffic as far as those fares going to happen. Yeah, like I was saying, this Nevergreen is like a typical day kind of outing push just with the pitch behind it. Just standard makeshift type song, just a little bit simplistic kind of one, just vanilla type aspect of this, like a malaise kind of day within the fare behind it. Just typical glaze type fashion. It's a little bit beleaguered within a sense, but it's just a good type tone for just some of that summer involvement as far as this pitch kind of goes. Just good type tone. Just extra time within some of those type pitches that I'd say just a good concept for some of that relative type fare. But I look after here, just being able to say, just within the aspects behind it, so I look after this, the concept about it here, once again, this mixtape, I talked about all the songs here within these pitches, so yeah, this mixtape gets a 10 out of 10, just a good fare behind that, just that to say. The concept of the social score, I'd probably say, social score just within the tone, probably like the social score would get like a 9.75, because I do like the aspects about the social score about this product would probably get like a 9.75. I like the aspects about this product here, just the tone of just like having good moments, like some good night venue type moments, at least a couple of these, nightclub kind of dance hops, a few songs for like restaurant type music type fare, like No Beach, or like still make songs like No Beach Boy, Still Make Guitars Cry, and Ash Tins and Doormats, some of those type pitches, so some good social type fare in a more restaurant type fashion, more just day hop kind of outs, just more romping type music for just around like the sports bar type pitch within that. It's a good type concept. There's some around the house type fare songs like Pass the Remote and First Advance, some of those type ones for just more PlayStation type music, more donut type music, just around the pad as far as this pitch can go. Just simple kind of chat and gab type music, just with the more hangout type fashion. Just good type pitches for a lot of that. And then even like some summer glaze, just typical kind of Traverse and Aaron's type fare within some of those type pitches. So it nails the aspect about these. The only reason why it's getting 9.75 for the most part is just within the pitch, as far as saying that it's kind of the tone that's a little bit trickier to track down. I question, like, this is not as commonly advertised within the pitch behind, so it's a good type pitch. I look after it. They're just this mixtape, considering the quality of it, just needs to be on a little bit better display as far as this pitch kind of go. It seems a little bit under promoted within the pitch. The most popular song after all this time has 13,000 plays. So this cat off of YouTube, paying attention to his YouTube, does have like 40,000 subscribers within the pitch, but most of these songs have pretty much around just like, approximately somewhere between like 400 plays and like a few songs past 1,000 within that pitch. But it just seems a little relatively chart within the pitch. This, considering the quality of this mixtape, should definitely have a little bit more widespreadness within it. So it's just the pitch, but the quality is definitely here. Like I said, the social aspects are pretty heavy hitting. This in the pitch, it's not a square type mixtape. Don't think, if you think like, if this cat doesn't feel like someone as vicious as like Gucci Mane or Just Rich Gates or like Waka Flocka, some of those type of folks, not the aspect. I wouldn't try to say that this particular mixtape doesn't have its thrills about it, because it definitely does. It's in the pitch, but I look after here just being able to say, so in terms of the future, Mat4yo does have some further products as far as this fair is going to happen. He was advertising a particular product that I want to check out off his particular SoundCloud. I think it's called like Anthology, but think about it, I don't know if it's called Anology. I don't know how the particular pronunciation that one particularly going to go, just because it doesn't have the T in there. It just has the 4, which stands for the A in like his name. Then it has like Anology, so it's just it's kind of a tricky one within that. But he does have some other products for us. This first going to have him. We'll have to see what's up with some of those within the pitch behind it. But just in the pitch, I do like the particular kind of suburban blisteriness of this product, just the social bite of it, and just the overall fierceness that it particularly has. It's a real surprise hit mixtape. Definitely nails the fares about this particular concept in space. Just good overall blistering type appeal.